This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hello, this is Marco from MANNTRA, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious podcast.
Let's talk about Mantra, new record coming out. And for those not familiar with you guys, can you just give me like the 2 sentence elevator boardroom pitch?
Well, we're a band from Croatia, Europe, and we play a mixture of metal with folk, with industrial, with a little bit of a gothic. In gothic, I mean like a little bit more darker atmosphere and moody stuff. So I think we are a mishmash of many genres, but I hope we are doing it in a new way, fresh way, and unique way. So this is my hopes. But
Right.
you know,
So how does a Mantra song start then? Do you guys start with like the folk metal part of it or the folk music part of it or the industrial? How does it
yeah,
part about and how do you add to it?
well, it depends from track to track or albums to album, depends on what we are more driven. For the last record, Titans, we were more into guitars, and I think everyone can hear that the album is much more guitar oriented. And we started to songwrite songs by playing guitars, riffs, some kind of chords, progression, and from there we developed the thing. But usually it's comes naturally the folk element because it's a specific folk element that comes actually from Croatia, from the Middle European
Mm.
folk, but from the Adriatic Mediterranean Sea where we are situated. So it's the northern part bordering with Italy.
Mhm.
And actually, the first inhabitants of Croatia were Celts. They came from, I don't know where, from the cold northern parts of Europe 2000 years ago.
Oh,
They
wow.
settled there, and it's cool because it's a mishmash of this Celtic heritage, which is really, really all mixed with, let's say, an Italian Venice culture that was in the medieval and afterward,
Mhm.
mixed with a Slavic tribe of Croatian people. So altogether, it makes a crazy, unique blend of folk heritage in many, many, many way and aspects of life. And I think this mantra folk style is quite unique because it's really Croatian, and there is no band from Croatia before us, so it's unique. You know, for Croatian people, it's like, good idea. They did it. Like they mixed this old school stuff with metal. Wow, I never thought about it. Good idea.
Right.
But for foreigners, it's like, wow, it's different. You know, it's new, let's say, a little bit new. I mean, it's always
No,
folk
it was
music,
new for
but
me as well. Yeah. What is the Croatian metal scene like? Is there a Croatian metal scene?
well, everywhere you go in the world, I think there is a metal scene everywhere. So metal is a really specific and
Yes.
strong genre of music, and we're really happy and blessed to be part of it because the communities are amazing wherever you go. And it's an evergreen. Let's say metal became an evergreen. It's not following trends. It follows trends on big scale, on big pop mainstream metal acts like
Right.
Bring Me the Horizon or whatever. But in its core, it's still an evergreen. You know, it's like a tuxedo. It fits to every decade, and this is really cool with metal because bands that were sounding really, let's say, lame, like Hammerfall back in the 2000s,
Right.
because it was power metal, because that was lame at the time, now sound modern. It's really cruel and crazy how these trends in metal always return. And to get back to my answer regarding Croatian scene, it's a 3.5 million people country. I don't know where you're from, which city from the States, but I guess your city is the same size or even bigger.
Probably. Yeah. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and I think it's
Yeah,
probably more than that if I had to guess.
with the metro area for sure. So you can imagine how the scene is only in your city, and this will be a scene of the whole country, and then scattered in a much bigger land size, then
Right.
it's really diluted. And to be honest, we were the lucky ones, the first band who actually made it through. And it needed like 2020 something to happen that Croatian bands got a chance, which is a shame because in the last 2 decades we had so many good bands, but no one really took it seriously because it's
Right.
like, where are you from? You're not from Sweden?
Right.
When it came like, we're from Croatia, they were like, we never heard about a band from Croatia. We don't know what to expect from you. So go
Right.
away, piss off. If we came and say we are from Sweden, they're like, oh, maybe you're the next, I don't know, whatever.
So now that you are the sort of leaders in the Croatian metal scene, do you feel a sort of responsibility or sense of responsibility to the scene?
And not anymore because the times have changed and really the scene is growing not only in the metal scene but in other genres because internet and everything it's now a pretty
Right.
big world and it's different. But maybe 5 years ago only or 10 100% we will have the pressure to open the doors. Now it's just more like, we know about one band and maybe you can be also.
Can you tell me about the creative process behind the cover of Miracle of Sound Skull and how you approached adapting it to the Mantra's distinctive style?
Well, it was funny. We decided to do it really the last 5 minutes in the studio. The album
Oh,
was
really?
done, everything was done, and we were like, okay, we have a record down. And we were like, maybe we should try and let's try just once. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, let's just throw this idea out. I mean, and I think I took the guitar, I just played this riff, which is the 101 riff of the original. I mean, at the moment, I didn't change anything. And I was like, okay, maybe if we do this, this kind of mantra thing that we have in one song before that sounded
All
more
right.
folky, maybe it will work. And it worked just perfectly. And then we added stuff in 5 minutes and the song was done, to be honest, because the song was already written by another guy. And
Right.
it's a cool song. And it was a no-brainer and it fitted to mantra instinctively. So we didn't work hard to get the sound. This is cool about mantra. Wherever we gather together, we get always the same sound. This is cool. It's also boring from time to time.
Right.
But at least we don't have to try to sound like us.
So do you worry about each record sounding the same? Do you think about like, hey, I don't want to write that same record that we just did, but you want to stay true
Yeah.
to the Mantra sound as well, right? And your fans?
Yeah, no, we are not worried because it's an evolution. We cannot repeat the same songwriting process in album, and every album sounds different. It's like changing for 20-30% from the album before. Someone will say it's like evolving. We are becoming better songwriters, musicians, producers. I mean, it's just experience that is stacking and touring all the time, playing songs and seeing the reaction of the fans and talking with other bands. You expand your horizon and also
Right.
listening to the other bands when you're on tour, or on a festival from the other side, it opens your mind. So I think it's just a normal process. It's just like a painter, he can never paint the same piece twice, it's always different. So, but it's in his style. So
Your music videos feature elaborate costumes and set designs. Are these elements going to contribute to the live sound as well? I mean, you're going to take this live with that kind of theatrical.
yeah, we always do that. We always had costumes, pyro, and whatever we can carry with us. I think Mantra is a really visual also band, like impactful band, and this is important because we have this kind of music that works well with light, with pyro, with the scenography. We are not the band coming with our random shirt on stage and doing that. I mean, this is really cool. I like bands like that, and for a band like Gojira, it works perfectly. For example, if you do it differently, it doesn't work. But for us, if we do it like regular civilian clothing, it's
Right.
never working.
So,
Like
with
this.
that in mind, then, do you think about the vision of what it's going to look like on stage or the whole theatrical element when you're writing, or does that come later?
Some songs, yes. Some song you're like, okay, this is perfect for this light, this pyro, this explosion, this moment you're doing this, and then in the end, this song doesn't end in the live set because it's not a good song. It's like you write the first song for the next record and they say this is the single, we have everything ready, but in the end it will be a shitty song that maybe didn't even make to the album. Sometimes these songs really became good and everything is fine and we have an idea, but most of the time it's also an evolution. You start the tour like really stiff, you're really, I'm not say scared anymore, but you're like, okay, it's the first time we're performing this song, so what should we do now? What should I move? And then the third, fourth time we're like, okay, now we know everything about the song, we are moving easily, everything is fine, maybe we should try this and this, and then we try stupid things. Sometimes they work.
Do you approach writing your music with like a theme in mind, or?
Yeah, it depends on the song. Sometimes we have some like a theme, like where the lyrics we want to go with, and we write about that. Or sometimes we just make a music and then it inspires the lyrics. Some songs they really stay a lot of time without lyrics because we want to find something special because we think the song is really special.
Right.
And then they sit for weeks, for months, and then, oh, do you know about this? Maybe we should write about this. So it really depends, but we are not fans of concepts, like having a conceptual album or whatever. But in the end, somehow every album ends up to be some kind of conceptual album. I don't know.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
So do you have a hard time, and I think a lot of people don't do this anymore, but when you're sequencing a record, that's sort of an art form, right? Kind of putting the songs in the order that create a sort of ebb and flow and emotional thing. And I know that's lost in a lot of the single releases, but do you guys think about that when you're putting together the record?
Yeah. For us, it's like at least for me, but also for the other guys from the band, the album is like a storytelling. It's like a journey. It doesn't have to have a lyric-wise thematic mood because you can jump around in the past, history, present, future, whatever. But the whole music should be like a storytelling thing. And in the end, lyrics are important, but everyone can make his own opinion about the lyrics,
Right.
So it's important that the listener digs he goes inside the record, closes his eyes, and for 30, 40 minutes, he
Right.
experiences something. So this is the best and biggest victory I think we can have.
I think that's missing in a lot of the way people, even my kids, they don't listen to music that way at all anymore either. And I'm constantly telling them, sit down and listen to it.
There is no time for that.
Because everybody wants 30 seconds and they're moving on. And I think it's a shame because there's a lot of time and effort you guys put into it to make it like that. And I think it should be consumed. Because imagine listening to Operation Mindcrime, just singles instead of through. It's almost sacrilegious, right? That record has to be played start to finish.
Yeah, but it's changed. The consummation of everything changed. So music is consumed like fast food, and it was hard for me to accept it, but I
Right.
accepted it. And what can I do? I mean, I'm a romantic, nostalgic guy. I started my producer career back in the days, 20 years ago. I mean, I'm not that old, but I started really early. I started on the outboard on the console with tape machine.
Right.
We had also the computer, but we were doing a lot of things on tape.
Yeah.
And you could put only 3 plugins, and then everything was hardware and it was a nightmare, but was special. There was I felt some kind of magic doing music at the time. I feel it still with Mantra when we write songs and when we produce Mantra because we are approaching our recording in the really old school way,
Right.
really old school. But I stopped to do a lot of producer work because it became like, okay, we need a hook till the 7th second. Otherwise,
Right.
then think about how to arrange a song, how to produce it. We need to catch the attention. And in Croatia, I was quite working a lot with also pop artists. I was a pretty successful producer, let's say. And it went like here for me because everyone was like, the radios are listening only for 3 seconds. So we need what the fuck you can do in the 3 seconds? I put a
Right.
reverse symbol, it's 3 seconds. Are you crazy? No, we need to start something. Okay, let's start every fucking song with a chorus. And this was it in the end, you know?
Right. It's crazy how you have to do that, but I mean, I guess that's what people are into now.
Yeah, it's like that. Maybe it will change in the future. Hopefully it will change, but with this pace of living, I don't think things will change. Only for worse.
Yeah. So I have two more for you, then we're going to switch gears if you don't mind. So the first one
Yeah.
is, you guys taking this out on the road?
Yeah, we are going to tour now in 3 weeks with our friends from D'Artagnan. They are promoting their record. They are a bigger band than we are, and they asked us to be special guests, which we accepted, and it's really cool. They're really cool people and friends. So we'll do an Austria, Switzerland, German tour with them 1 month. Then we are doing a lot of festivals in the summer, and in early 26, February and March, we are doing our big headline tour, like the Titles tour. So we are really excited
nice.
about hitting the road again. It will be Germany, it will be Austria, it will be Croatia, it will be Europe in general. So
Beautiful. And if fans want to find Mantra, can you give us all your socials and all that kind of fun stuff?
yeah, sure. I don't know by heart how are the links, but it's mostly of the time Mantra Official or whatever on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Okay.
or whatever exists. So
Thank you for
Okay.
taking the time, my friend.
thank you for the invite. I'm really glad.
Be well. I
we
hope
had
that
this
wasn't bad.
event. It was
Yeah.
great. Amazing.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you. It was really,
Excellent.
really nice. Thank
Excellent.
you so much.
Have a good day, my
Have a
friend.
nice evening. Bye.
Hey everyone, this is Bjorn from Soulwork, and this is Brutally Delicious.
Hey there, heavy metal maniacs and kitchen crusaders. I'm Bruce Moore, the host of the Brutally Delicious podcast, where we whisk up a blend of metal and food to quench even the most discriminate tastes. Have you ever wondered what your favorite metal musician chows down on before they hit the stage to melt your face off? Well, look no further. Here at the Brutally Delicious podcast, we have cooking segments so brutal they'll make your oven want to headbang. From beefy, bodacious burgers to spicy, succulent salmon, to kickin' caliente cauliflower, and more. We mix metal and culinary creations, resulting in a feast for the senses.
But wait, there's more.
Hey, this is Michael Monroe. Brutally delicious. Isn't that beautiful? See you down the road.
Each week, I meet with the mammoths of metal for interviews that are spicier than a Carolina Reaper. Get the latest on their upcoming shows, behind-the-scenes stories, and if we're lucky enough, maybe they'll share a secret family recipe or two with us. You'll also want to check out our weekly album and show reviews, where we dice, slice, and serve up our unique takes on the latest metal releases. So grab your leather apron, crank the volume to 11, and subscribe to the Brutally Delicious podcast on your favorite podcast platform. It's sure to be a hell of a time.
Oh, hey there. It's Tim from Protest the Hero. Now that you've seen my junk, I'm going to show you how to make a pizza. And you're watching Brutally Delicious.
What's up, everybody? Max Cavalera, Soulfly, and you listen to Brutally Delicious podcast. Stay metal, motherfuckers.
The number you have reached is 100.7 WMMS.
It wasn't just a radio station, it was a lifestyle.
Cleveland is a rock and roll city for sure.
Get down! The Wrath of the Buzzard. WMMS. Cleveland.
The rise and fall of one of the most iconic radio stations in America. Profiles, The Wrath of the Buzzard, PROH Files. Subscribe now wherever you get podcasts.